You are now going to watch a video on percentage. This presentation has 10 slides in all. That is, all the 10 slides together can be taken as 100% and every single slide will therefore be equal to 10% of the whole presentation. Now let's move on. First, it's important to learn the meaning of the word percent. It can be broken into two parts, per and cent. The word per means out of and the word cent means 100. So percent as a whole means out of 100. I'm sure you would have heard the word cent used along with a suffix in many different situations. Look at the four blurbs here. They all have words beginning with cent. Let's take the word centum. It generally refers to 100 marks. When you score all the 100 marks in a test that is set for 100, you are said to have scored a centum. Next, look at the word century. It refers to completion of 100 consecutive years. You would have heard the word century used more often in cricket when a player scores 100 runs. Then the word centenary. It is generally used to show 100 years of existence. When a school, a college or any institute completes 100 years, the centenary year will be celebrated. Finally, the word cent. It refers to 1/100th of a dollar. So actually 100 cents make $1. Like many other concepts in mathematics, percentage also has a symbol of its own. It's a slanting line with two tiny dots or circles on either side. Here are two grids. The first is divided into 100 parts and 10 out of them are shaded. So we say 10% is shaded. In the next grid, 60 parts are shaded. So 60% is shaded. The symbol saves us the botheration of writing the word each time. There is a lot of relationship between a fraction, a decimal and a percentage. In the first place, a proper fraction, a decimal number without a whole number, and a certain percentage that is less than 100 are all less than 1. However, a fraction can have any number as its denominator, while a decimal number can have only 10, 100, 1000 or any power of 10 as its denominator, and a percentage can have only 100 as its denominator. To talk more about their relationship, a fraction can be expressed as a decimal or percentage. A percentage can be expressed as a fraction or as decimal. A decimal can be expressed as a fraction or as a percentage. Now look at this slide and you will understand that the same quantity can be expressed using a fraction or a decimal or a percentage. For example, let's take 25 out of 100. 25 out of 100 is 25% and 1/4 as a fraction, because when you reduce 25 by 100, you get 1/4. And lastly, it is 0.25 as a decimal. Again, 50 out of 100 is 50%, half as a fraction, and 0.50 as a decimal. Next, 75 out of 100 is 75%, 3/4 or 0.75. And finally, 100 out of 100 is 1 whole. It is equal to 100%. And as a decimal, you will write it as 1.0. To give you a quick recap of all that you have learned so far, look at the two charts on this slide. It says, any fraction can be expressed as percentage and any percentage can be expressed as a fraction. Any proper fraction will always be less than 1. And finally, any improper fraction will always be more than 1. Now let's see what these two charts have to say. Any decimal can be expressed as a percentage and any percentage can be expressed as a decimal. Decimals that are greater than 1 will always be more than 100%, and decimals that are less than 1 will always be less than 100%. Look at this pie. It has been divided into 10 equal parts. If you wish to name each part using a fraction, you will have to call them 1/10, 2/10, 3/10, etc. If you would like to consider all the 10 parts, then they would be equal to 10 by 10 or otherwise equal to 1 whole. Now look at this pie. It is also divided into 10 equal parts, but each part is named using decimals. Hence, they will be called 10%, 20%, 30%, and so on. When all the parts are taken into consideration, it will be equal to 100%, or in other words, it will be equal to 1 whole. Finally, let us look at the usage of percentage in our day-to-day life. In the educational sector, for instance, percentage is always used to say what marks one has scored in an examination. Or, if there is a national level examination being conducted, percentage is used to say whether the boys did better or the girls did better. Next, in the government departments, percentage is used again. In case there is an election being held, percentage is used to describe the number of votes gained by a particular party or an individual in the elections. In the business world too, whether it's small or big, percentage comes in handy. When there is a sale of home appliances, clothes, or other accessories, you would have seen shoppers giving discounts in percentages. Or if you look at nutritional value of certain food items, the descriptions on the cartons would tell you what percentage of each nutrient is there in the content. Finally, banks and other financial institutes always give interest only using percentage. There are many more areas where percentage can be used in our day-to-day life. I hope this presentation was useful to you and has helped you understand the concept of percentage well.